Well, as if you've lived in the 21st century for any amount of time, you've probably noticed that it seems like our attention spans are getting shorter. And I don't know how it was prior to computers and technology because I've pretty much grown up with the internet and computers and television and everything. And now we have cell phones that are not seeming to help the situation with our attention spans and video games, especially. And I think a big thing is commercials on television and YouTube. Like you're probably watching this right now. Like I don't have commercials on my YouTube channel. Well, number one, because I I don't have enough viewers on here to even make any money. So, and number two, I don't I don't like commercials. And if I ever get a big following, I might have advertisements on my YouTube channel, but the chances of that happening are pretty slim because I don't think people want to watch these videos. I mean, I don't really care if they watch them or not because I'm just making them for myself and maybe my family to watch or whoever wants to. I don't know. I think it's interesting to watch these videos in about a couple years or maybe 10 years from now. I'll watch them and think, wow, I really could have improved upon that. But anyway, so attention spans, it seems to be getting shorter now. And I think we can do this. We can help our short attention spans by giving up technology for a while. Like I don't know if you've heard of technology fasting, but it's like fasting from food. Some people do intermittent fasting and they'll eat for 16 hours and then they'll fast for 8 hours or eat for 8 hours and fast for 16 hours. And some people fast for 24 hours and some people fast for 2 or 3 days and they're longer than that. But I think this is a good idea to fast from cell phone usage and even television and computers, or no internet at all, no television, no technology, no screen time, I guess you could say, like fasting from screen time. And I think that would really help our attention spans. And even if you just sit there just take a break for 5 minutes. I know some people can't, if some people can't take a break from the computer because that's how they make their living. And if you're doing that 8 hours a day, or some people more than that, 12 hours, or however long you spend on the computer, you have to do your job. Even if you just took a break for 5 minutes, or, if you got a 15-minute break during the day, then just sit and meditate and think about what you want to do with your life, or think about just anything, and get a break. That gives your mind, even if you're not thinking about a particular thing, it gives your mind a break from that constant oh man, I can't think of the word, the constant well, I'm gonna have to pause the video. Instead of having to stay constantly entertained or engaged with something, your mind needs a break. So instead of watching, like sometimes I'll get my phone out or something and then I'll go on YouTube. I'll say, oh, I just want to go on here for a minute to look at this video. And then, you'll get a recommended video on that. And then you'll say, well, maybe I'll just watch this one more video. And then about 5 or 6 videos later, you're thinking, oh man, it's already been an hour or two and I've sat here and done nothing except watching YouTube videos. So I think we need to stop keeping ourselves entertained with so much stuff and start meditating and just sit there and um, maybe just go in your room and or go outside in the woods or wherever that is, like a quiet place, and just sit there and meditate, think about your day, or think about anything, like pick a verse out of the Bible and think about that and meditate on it for a few minutes, just to have a break and stop all the engagement that you have on social media. That is a big social media, I think, is really cutting our attention spans short and giving us false hopes and stuff to what our lives should be. People post pictures on Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or Twitter or whatever else there is. I can't even think of what else. Well, YouTube is another one. All these social media things, and these people post almost what seems like a perfect life, and they make their life seem like it's so perfect, and then you want to be like them, and you say, well, why is my life not as good as their life is? And I want to be as perfect as they are, but in reality they're just putting on a show, and not they're not perfect. None of us are perfect, and they're just giving a false, well, what I believe is a false representation of their life. And I hope I'm not doing that on this channel. I try to show what I do in real life, and I don't want this to be a false representation of my life. I try to show what I actually do on a day-to-day basis. That's the purpose of these vlogs. And like I may not video of me talking to somebody, because that just that's just me and that other person talking. I don't want to intrude on their life, and if they don't want me to. But I try to tell in the video about what I do in my life. And anyway, getting off on a tangent now about attention spans. I think these commercials and just like short videos, like even I'll find myself on YouTube, I'll say, well, this video, it'll be recommended to me, and then I'll think, well, that video's 8 or 9 minutes long. I don't want to spend 8 or 9 minutes watching a video, and this video is getting about 8.5 minutes now, and some people probably won't watch it, and I don't really care. But this whole internet, computer technology, and especially I think commercials, and I've noticed on, like, sometimes I watch those little videos on Snapchat, and I don't really agree with most of what's on there, but sometimes I'll watch them, and it'll have like maybe 20 seconds of content of what you click. Like, you click on these little videos, and it'll pull up the video. It'll have like 20 seconds of what you clicked on it for, and then it'll say, oh, here's a 5-second commercial. So then that interrupts your thought process, and so then you have to switch over to what they're advertising, or just stop paying attention at all. And I think that interrupts, that's not helping lengthen our attention spans. And I think things like that, well, like even on YouTube, that you'll be watching a 20-minute video, and then in the middle of it, it'll cut out 20 seconds to advertise something that has nothing to do with the video. And I don't think that's helping our attention spans and be lengthened at all, because I just want to, I just want to read something. And that's the good thing about a book. Like if you buy a book from the store, there's not usually any outside information inside of the book. It's just that book, and there's no interruptions or anything. Now it is split into chapters, and well, most of them are. So that might give an interruption unless you want to sit there and read the book all from front to back in one sitting, which depending on the size of the book, that might be impossible. But I think we need to start meditating and focusing on one thing at a time. I know our generation, or my generation, we like to multitask and do different things, and you have like 5 things going on at once, and then we get distracted. And I think we just need to eliminate distraction and just focus on one thing at a time. Like even if it's just making a list, and then you say, okay, I'm going to do number 1 first, and don't start doing on the other things on the list. Focus all your attention on that first thing on the list and get that done, and then do the next thing on the list and get that done, and don't jump around, because that messes up your attention span. And then even if you're like, you might be talking to somebody, and then they'll start explaining something, and then you'll zone out and won't even hear what they had to say. It might be something really important. And I've caught myself doing that. Like I'll ask somebody something, and then they'll go on explaining something, and then I'll think, well, I don't even know what they said in the middle of that conversation. So I'm trying to be more adherent to, or that's not the right word, more engaged with people and what I'm actually doing. And we don't need to be constantly entertained by social media and movies and television and all this stuff coming at us, all this information we're surrounded by. I don't think our minds were meant to process that much information in one day. I think we just need to, like if you're going to school, just focus on what you're learning at school. But you need a break. You need time to process that information, and you need time. I think it would be best just to sit and meditate, or just pray about it, and just allow 10 minutes. Or I've heard some people excuse me, I've heard some people say, like, you have 24 hours in the day, so just take an hour to pray and meditate, or read your Bible, or whatever you want to do. I mean, to get your mind off the world, and just to pray to our God, and learn more about Him, and even if it's memorizing Bible verses, that's a great way to strengthen your mind, and also grow spiritually closer to God. Focus on one thing at a time. Eliminate distractions, and just spend time meditating, just doing nothing. Just sit there for 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour a day, and just don't have your cell phone nearby, don't have your computer, don't have the television on. Just sit there. No music, nothing, no entertainment, no engagement. Just sit there and think, or even learn a memory verse while you repeat that verse over again in your head, and learn it, and then apply it to your life. Well, just one more thing to add. I forgot to talk about this book, Digital Minimalism, Choosing a Focused Life in a Noisy World. I believe I have not read this book, but I've read about it and somebody told me about it. And I think I'm going to try to find it because this sounds like a really interesting book. It's called Digital Minimalism, and it's got another phrase behind it, but the main title of the book, you can find it, Digital Minimalism, on Amazon.com or probably anywhere they sell books. You can find it. It might be on the Amazon tablet thing. You can get it electronically. I don't know. But it sounds like an interesting book, as well as Reclaiming Conversation. I know that's not really involving your attention span, but if you want to learn about, well, I guess it is, because I think our attention span is uh, it affects our conversation. So, Reclaiming Conversation: The Power of Talk in a Digital Age. That's the name of that book by Sherry Turkle. Um, I'll I'll think I'll try to put the links, or at least the titles of the books and who they're written by. I'll try to put that in the description of this video so you can see them.